A pair of Silver Spurs to your name, man. What does that mean?
Man, it's awesome. I've been coming to this rodeo. I think this is the fourth year that I've been here, and I've had some success. Just about every year. Always made the short round, but never quite came up with the Spurs. Always kind of second, third, fourth in the average. Won good checks out of here, and it's always got the momentum rolling for the summer. This is kind of the beginning of Cowboy Christmas. It's the beginning of the most busy season, part of our season. So. I don't know, this rodeo's cool. Like, whenever I first step on the back of the buck and shoots here on that platform, it's like, all right, we're rodeoing. Like, this is the summertime, and this is my favorite time to rodeo. I get on just about every day, and the more horses I get on, the better I ride. So I'm blessed to be able to get the dub here and just hopefully keep the momentum rolling.
The advantage of being last one out, knowing what you need to do, what does that feel like?
Yeah, the girls earlier just asked, if that's any added pressure. And really and truly, I've always kind of lived by this motto. I've got a sports background, and pressure makes diamonds, man, and diamonds are meant to shine. And when you have that mentality, it kind of brings out the champion in you, and you're built for success. I don't believe in luck. I think it's when preparation meets opportunity, and I was fortunate to have the opportunity today, and we've been putting in the work. So. I'm pretty blessed.
As a guy that's relatively young in this sport, what's that feeling like? Championship Saturday at an iconic rodeo like Reno, last out, knowing that you can make your own luck and win the Silver Spurs. What's that adrenaline feel like?
Yeah, man. You can get outside of yourself pretty quick, right? Like, I think playing baseball at a pretty high level, I've been in high level situations, and it's helped me to mature in those kinds of situations a lot. If this was 6-7 years ago, I probably would have gotten outside myself and probably tried to do too much. But reality is I had a pretty comfortable lead coming in, but I still had to do my job, right? And the horse that I had was not easy. So you just got to stick to your game plan and do your job. And as much as you want to, nod your head and go for broke and, just do something absolutely cool, sometimes you just got to nod your head and be a businessman and do your job and let the cards fall where they lay. That was kind of the game plan today. Like, I had never really seen very many videos of a horse besides one or two, and the horse is typically in the saddle bronc riding, but they just switched it back over recently to the bareback riding, and I knew it was going to buck pretty hard. And when a horse is bucking that hard, like, you can't really flash him up as much as when one is just kind of not quite as powerful, right? Just jumping in there and kind of floating across there. That one was leaping way in there, but dropping a lot. And there's a lot of power in your hand, and one minor mistake can cost you a lot, and it can put your head in the dirt. So as much as you want to be over aggressive and freaking like send it, right? Like, that's what everybody wants to do, but at the same time, sometimes you just got to bury your chin down and do your job.
And make a business decision, right?
Yeah.
Be a little wiser, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did want to ask about the baseball background, if I guess for folks that don't know, just a quick nutshell version of your history through the game. I believe you were a catcher, right? Just the transition, and I know maybe injuries derailed baseball, but to get to that a high level in one sport and now a high level in another, it's pretty unique.
Yeah, man, I'm fortunate. God's given me a lot of athletic ability, and I'm fortunate to still be able to use it. I got to go play Division I college baseball for a couple years, and had an opportunity to possibly start my freshman year and dove for a ball in the outfield and blew my shoulder out before the season started, so I had to get that fixed. My non-throwing shoulder, had to get that fixed. So I came back pretty quick, and then they put me back behind the plate to kind of keep it a little bit safer. And one day I threw a ball down to second base and felt my elbow pop, and I did not want to admit that it was torn, and I threw on it for almost a month. Yeah, and I completely just about ruptured my elbow, so the surgery had to be a lot more extensive than it probably would have been. But yeah, man, it took about 2.5 years for it to come back to be what it was before, and honestly, my arm's still not the same as what it was. I can actually throw a baseball now and it not hurt. But for about 2 years, I couldn't throw a ball without it hurting, and that was kind of the decision to just kind of hang it up. And when I missed 2 full seasons, and I let my body mature, but at the same time, I felt like I was way behind in the game, and I'd kind of lost the love of the game, but also lost the love of the process. And I kind of fall in love with the sport of rodeo through my dad and his success, and I rodeoed a little bit as a kid, so. I don't know, the good Lord just lit a fire in my heart that, this is where He was calling me to be, and I've been fortunate to have some success.
So kind of found your way back to rodeo. Were you going to kind of try to ride baseball as far as you could and put rodeo in the rearview mirror, and then you found your way back, or was rodeo always maybe a future post-baseball plan?
No, Probably it wasn't until I'm gonna say I was 18 or 19 years old when rodeo kind of, I'm gonna say the fire relit, because I was hardcore rodeo when I was a kid, and I was like kindergartner kid. You know, I wanted to be a rodeo cowboy, and that's all I ever wanted to be. And life kind of happened, and I ended up being pretty athletic and pretty good at sports, and had an opportunity to take some sports pretty far. You know, I could have went and had an opportunity to maybe go walk on and play college football, and I got a scholarship to play college baseball. And you know, like I said, the good Lord blessed me with some athleticism, so I kind of capitalized on that, and I felt like it kind of came to an end. You know, I spent a lot of time in prayer and kind of discerning where I needed to go and what I needed to do, and man, I live by a motto of God's plan, and you know, sometimes we can make decisions that can derail it for a little while, but He's always going to bring you where you need to be, and that's kind of where we've been.
Last one, how do we celebrate Reno, man? Do you have any time to celebrate? Where are we heading?
No, not much. We're going to go hang out with the boys and enjoy it. You know, this is the coolest part of the summer, is getting to see all your buddies just about every day. And when you're home, you get to see your family, you get to see your friends, but then you've got friends out here on the road. And, man, everybody thinks we compete against each other, but really it's just a big fraternity. It's just a big brotherhood. So we're going to hang out with the buddies and spend a little bit of time together, and then we're going to get on a flight at 5 in the morning and go to Greeley and try to go win some more money.